Hello, my name is Cassandra Knight, and I am doing my response on regarding the OCD video with Samantha. I must admit that I had to review the video several times in order to get a better understanding. And after reviewing the video several times, I now have a better understanding of OCD, and I see it on a total different spectrum than I did before. I must admit, before reviewing the video, I was not fully aware of what OCD entails. But I must admit that I think everyone has a little OCD in them. For example, certain things that I like to see in order, like at work, I like to have my desk in a certain order. And if it's not in a certain order, I get to feeling like things are everywhere, and I get to looking around, trying to see how I can get some order. Like in my car, for example, too, I have to have things in a certain order as well. I don't like stuff to be everywhere. I like things to be in a certain spot. But it's never to that extent that I just feel that I will do it over and over and over again. But I must say, I think I got a little OCD in me as well. And however, if I was like Samantha in the video, to the extent of her OCD, I think I would probably go crazy, because she does aim for symmetry, perfection, and time management, which I rate myself as a negative in all three, because I'm not perfect. Things does not have to be perfect. Even though I aim for them to be. In time management, I'm not good at time management, which I should. And in the video, when she was saying that how when she was a little girl, that when she was 8 years old, how she touched the pole with her right hand, and then she had to touch it with her left hand, and how on an average day it's like maybe 924 times that she has been in touch different individuals and stuff, because she teaches at school and things have to be in a perfect order. And she was saying that pretty much OCD has helped her, because everything has to be perfect. It has to be symmetrical, and she is good at time management. Also, I was reading the case study also too, and with the girl Mandy has who washed her hands severely, and she was referred to go see the social worker because she had washed her hands severely, and she would wash her hands hundreds of times, which I think Mandy and Samantha have very, very severe cases of OCD. However, some of my clients has been diagnosed with OCD. But to be honest, I don't know the extent of the OCD that my clients have been diagnosed with. But I know I have like 2 or 3 that's been diagnosed with OCD. For example, one of my clients, her mother had stated that when she was living with them, she would, if you have on your table in your dining room, she would, if you put a soda or water or whatever down there, she would wipe it over and over and over again. And she would prefer you put a coaster there. But even if you would have a coaster right there so the drink can sit on top of, she would prefer you to wipe it over and over again. And she said finally she felt like she was just wearing herself out. So she finally got her own apartment, and I must admit her apartment is, you can pretty much eat off her floors. But her mother said it's not to that extent that she has to do it hundreds and hundreds of times, but she will do it a couple times. And it's not to the point that it's life-threatening, but she just like things done in a certain order. She's very organized, and I think she's kind of like Samantha as well, but she's not to that extent. I was also thinking that by some of my clients being diagnosed with OCD, I was wondering when they got this diagnosis, because we don't diagnose with my job, but when they come, according to their diagnosis, the doctors, of course, diagnose them. And I was wondering how was my clients diagnosed with having OCD, because they don't really go into details much about when they're diagnosed with OCD. So I was wondering, do their criteria line up with the criteria in the DSM-5? Or maybe they just went to the doctor and their parents was just told the doctor what was going on, and the doctor just automatically diagnosed them with OCD. But now, reading in the DSM-5 and in my textbook, looking at the diagnosis criteria, I am more able now to look at my clients, assess any childhood behaviors, any social history, any different repetitive patterns, behaviors, anything of that nature. And now I can ask my parents, does they have this type of repetitious behavior? How long they've been having this? How do they feel about this? And I can also ask my clients about this, because the clients, of course, these clients are very high functioning. They can tell me how they feel regarding the OCD behaviors and patterns that they exhibit. However, none of my clients are not on any type of medication, just like Samantha stated in the video that she's not on any medication, but she's taking cognitive behavior therapy, which to me is a very good form of therapy to take. And that goes to show none of my clients are on medication for anxiety or OCD. So I guess it's not to that extent yet, because they're not having any type of behavior therapy to help with the OCD. So I guess it's more like a severe, I guess it's more like a less severe case with my clients. Also, I learned about the OCD, and that we should not take it lightly. And because this disorder does exist. And like I said, this disorder does exist. And I like the way that Samantha looked at it as being obsessive compulsive advantage. And this is an advantage to her. It's not a disorder to her. And this is an advantage to her. And by her looking at it that way, now I'm able to ask my clients, do they see it as an advantage opposed to being a disadvantage? Because she was very willing to talk about her experience with it. She was saying how it just, it has organization, it has order in her life, and it has really affected her life tremendously from 8 on up until now she's 23. But this has really helped her life, and it has shaped the person in which she's, which she is today. And like I stated before, I like how she pretty much renamed it. And also she mentioned that she does not take the medication, which I think in her case, medication would not work. But the cognitive behavior therapy is a good form of therapy for her. Also, like I stated before, I will explore more regarding my clients' childhood patterns, behaviors, regarding the obsessions and then compulsions that was, that they feel that was not satisfied.